We just want a piece of the pie. So we pack our bags and run. Said we pack our bags and run. Trying to walk on the wire. Cause there's nothing we cannot overcome. Nothing we cannot overcome. They don't realize. They don't realize. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. They're not gonna take us alive. They must not know how we do. They sure don't know how we do. Cause we're gonna fight to survive. They will not knock us off our groove. They will not knock us off our groove. They don't realize. They don't realize. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Guys, it's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Guys, it's our time. Our time to fly. They'll see with their own eyes. It will come as no surprise.
Hi, welcome. It's your girl Aniya A. We're live.
It's time for new chapters to fill the pages of love, life, and laughter. I pack my bag, look ahead into the light, and I'm ready to claim my dreams, and I'm ready to take the flight. And I live it in my heart. I feel a little fear. I'm racing towards my destiny. I gotta keep my conscience clear. The blue skies got a star I should be standing on. It's my turn, and I'm ready to take the world on. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Rule the world. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. It's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. It's our time to fly. It's our time to change. We don't need a reason why. Let's make a change. Get past this room. Now we're on the move. Nothing will overcome. We're off to rule the world. We're off to rule. We gon' rule the world.
All right. Good evening to each and every one of you that made it live with us tonight on the Aniya A show. Listen, we got a little late start because we've had a whole long day. And if I look a little different to all of you, don't worry, it's still me. I just switch up the hairstyle every now and then because, as you know, as a sister who's natural, sometimes it gets hard out here for a pimp. Hey, and I just wanted to let you guys know it's definitely me. I definitely had to switch it up tonight with this hair. Yes, this is all me. I am natural. This is not a perm. For those that are wondering, Aniya A, did you switch out on us? No, I did not. This is all me. I just got a blowout from my Dominicans down the street, huh? All right. Listen, due to the fact that we got a slow start, I'm just going to share a couple of updates with you guys real quick. As you all know, tomorrow is the big day for our workshop, which is the Economic Crisis Initiative workshop, which will be live in the heart of Harlem on 125th. If anybody is trying to call me right now or message me, do not call or message me right now, because we have a very special interview tonight and I definitely want to pay attention. So for those that are hitting me up via inbox and text messages and calling me right now, please wait until after the Aniya A show and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of you sexy people. But for now, again, I want to thank you for joining us. And as you saw through the flyer and different things like that earlier today, you'll know that we have a very special guest on. And this brother is somebody that I highly respect. Not only do I respect him, but I really love him. And I love his style and his charisma for life. And so when we got to talking, it just made absolute positive sense that we came together for this particular endeavor, which is an interview on the Aniya A platform. And one of the things that I love about him the most is his production abilities and style. Also, real quick, if you're on IG and you can't get onto FEGMGMT, forgive me because we're having technical difficulties on just one of our IG pages. Not all of them, just one of them for now. And as we work together to get that up and running, I just wanted to say forgive us. We don't know what's going on this particular platform, but that's okay because this device is always acting shady. Okay, kind of like Shady Baby. Gabrielle Union's baby is the cutest. She's smiling lately, and that's really cute. But anyway, so let's jump into it. We have waiting tonight A. Gregory Harris, also known as Mr. Arnold Pinnix. You may have heard him live on the Reverend Al Sharpton platform of the National Action Network during our Saturday morning rallies in the heart of Harlem off 145th at the House of Justice. But we, again, have worked with him very closely, and we really love his style. And one thing I remember in particular, which we'll go into on this platform later, is how he was able to create an entire play off of like 2 sentences of mine many moons ago. And it was something that I cared about. And we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. But for right now, let me let you all know, for those that do not know who this brother is, let me tell you a little bit about the man that we have the honor of interviewing and working with tonight. His name is A. Gregory Harris, aka Mr. Arnold Pinnix. And it says he is a winner of the Lorraine Hansberry Award and the Kennedy Center Award. To name a few, Arnold Pinnix is a multiple award-winning playwright and actor. He has won Playwrights Lab Award and the National Association for Dramatic Speech Award. His award-winning plays are Junk, a musical play for young people, The Peacemaker, which I think he also has a book about. And that work is based on the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And Free to Learn, a new musical based on the landmark Brown versus Board of Education case. It also goes on to say, a native of Burlington, North Carolina, Mr. Pinnix was discovered by the one and only Reverend Jesse Jackson, who brought him to New York to write comedy for Saturday Night Live. Now, I've heard of this, but tonight, hopefully, we can get into more details about that. Mr. Pinnix then interned on The Cosby Show and later studied sitcom writing and directing. He produced and directed a children's talent showcase at the world famous Apollo Theater, where he made history as the first producer director to do such an event. As a result, the Apollo Kids became an exciting feature of the Showtime at the Apollo. Mr. Pinnix has dedicated over 20 years of national community service. Ready for this? He is currently the producing director of the Negro Ensemble Company Incorporated, president of 3THW Music Publishing Incorporated, and director of On the Job Training Program for the Negro Ensemble Company Incorporated. Mr. Pinnix is currently the producer and head writer for the internet television show News Noir on the Drum Television Network. He is also the New York representative and film producer at Carolina Pinnacle Studios, Inc., from Yanceyville, North Carolina. Oh my God, that is such a mouthful, but that's why we have him here with us this evening. And at this time, I would love for you all to definitely give it up for Mr. Arnold Pinnix, also known as A. Gregory Harris. And for those that don't know, he's also the spokesperson for NAN's creative department. And as he's joining us now, we just want to take the time to really show this man how much we care about him and all the work that he does for the people throughout our communities. And we see you now, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. How are you?
Excellent. I'm excellent. Oh my God, reading your biography, your bio, is such a blessing. As you know, we've known each other for years. However,
Right.
I had no idea like how amazing your bio was.
Oh my God, no, not really. I'm in the think tank. I'm in my think tank. You know what my think tank is?
You're in your think tank right now.
It's
Do you
called
want to
think
call
tank.
your what?
No, but I'm sitting. I'm just telling this is where I can get peace.
Oh, okay. Praise God. All right. Well, I was gonna say,
I
sir,
wouldn't do that to you.
can we do this at a later time, sir?
No. It's just a room that I can have peace and I can talk and where I create.
There
That's
you
why
go.
the creatives create in a small space.
There you go. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad we are doing this evening. This is long overdue, and there are people watching already. Again, for all those that are contacting me or trying to contact me right now, we are on with the one and only A. Gregory Harris, aka Arnold Pinnix. So please wait until after the show for you guys to reach out to me. We have a couple of comments already. Miss Brenda Dock is watching. She says, I am watching you, beautiful. Thank you. I love you, Mama Brenda. Oh, Gregory Roberts is watching. Aniya, you do look beautiful tonight. Thank you. But how about Mr. Pinnix? Does he look amazing tonight? Let him know. All right, sir. So let's jump right into it. Mr. Man, your biography, like I said, your resume is so full of amazing talent and amazingness. I see you every week doing your thing. Tell us and tell the people, have you always wanted to be in the entertainment industry? Have you always had a desire to be on stage, or did it just kind of happen?
Well, I was a very shy kid, and my mother was very active in the youth programs in Burlington, North Carolina. So I was a kid that could sing like Michael Jackson, but when company would come over, I would go and I would play the frog. The frog would, hello, my honey, hello, my baby. And then when company would come over, I'd go, and I would perform.
Wow.
But what happened was that, and I'll never forget, my father and I stayed and watched the Ten Commandments when my sister and brother and everybody went to see the Jack the Five. I was so jealous of Michael Jackson that I could sing like him, but I wouldn't go. So I stayed and watched the Ten Commandments, praise God.
Oh my Lord.
But what happened was, Anaya, is that my mother would put on talent shows at the youth center. And she created programs. So I'm second generation not-for-profit programming for young people. And she said, okay, Arnold, just be in the Soul Train line, because that was back in the 70s.
Okay.
So she said, just move from side to side. See, I know you can dance. I know you can do all this. And so you just be in the Soul. I need some more kids in the Soul Train line. Well, I tell you, Anaya, that night changed my life.
Wow.
And what happened was, the music, they played a song. I can't even think of the song that they played, but all the kids were going down the Soul Train line. It was a very famous person by the name Danita Joe Freeman and all the Soul Train dancers, and they would dance and stuff like that. And then came my turn to go down the Soul Train line. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I started to dance and I didn't stop. And then Woods Country, we're from Burlington, from North Carolina. They saw us, look at Arnold Gregory. Look at Arnold Gregory. And Arnold Gregory would not stop dancing.
Oh my God. Keep talking.
And that's when I broke out of my shyness and became Arnold Pinnix. And I guess you say the bug hit me. The bug hit me.
Hit ya.
it hit me, and I just wanted to be a performer from that point on. I always wanted to be a performer, but I was so shy, and and I went through bouts of that because I was I lived in a daydream. The teachers would always say Arnold is a great student, but he's always daydreaming. He was always daydreaming kid. So I was a
Mm.
daydreaming kid, just thinking about all types of creative fantasy things, and I would sing, in the field, and I came from a farm with my grandfather and grandmother, and I just would go and do things like that, and I realized that this is something. And my grandfather said, God rest his soul. He said, Arnold, he said, I've been watching you on Gregory,
Mm.
and you live in your own world, and you live in Arnold's world, and that's
Arnold's
how.
World.
And I lived in Arnold's world, and then I decided to let the world see what Arnold was all about. And Arnold was just that type of kid who was kept to himself. I love my alone time, but I'm very social at the same time. But that's the type of kid I was, and I became very active in the arts. And if I was a football player, and I was a hopelessly romantic. I love like one of the little girls. I played football, and one of the girls, all the little girls were talking, but I didn't like the little girls who were gossiping all the time. I liked the little girl that was reading a book.
Ooh, okay.
This little girl was reading a book. And I said, that's going to be my girlfriend because she's reading a book.
Wow.
And I said, okay. And I went to her, listen, I said, we win the football game, you're going to be my girlfriend, right? She said, okay, okay, okay. We kids, we know what to do. So sure enough, I was an offensive guard on the football team.
Wow.
And it was his JV. And I never forget, we won the football game. The little girls ran over to shake the other cheerleaders' hands. And I never forget it, Aniya. Then I was very aggressive when it came to romance, okay?
Okay
Very
now.
shy when it came to my talent, but very aggressive when it came to romance. And what I would do was, I threw my football helmet onto the ground, and she was coming over with the other little girls, and I would say, okay. And we met in the middle of the football field, and she gave me a kiss. And that day she was my girl, and that night she was my girlfriend, and I walked her to school every day after that.
Wow.
And
Interesting
that's how I
story. So,
got acclimated to. That's the type of kid I was. I was just like I would always treat people fairly and nice, and I would realize that when people wrote things about me in the yearbook, they would say, "Oh, your personality, this and that." I had no idea, and I just treated people how I wanted to be treated.
I love that.
Always been that way.
So shy on the stage, but not shy with the ladies. I like that. That is awesome.
Well, I didn't want to show off, and I'm saying, but I realized that I could sing and I perform, and I was a creative type of person, but I was just kind of like aggressive with it because I was always looking. I had this ideal and I'm still searching, by the way. I'm still looking for my queen. God knows, because it's very difficult because I'm looking for someone that would be a helpmate to a man who had a vision and who had a dream, who wanted to build things. And that's not easy to find in this material world, especially someone to work with you and ride with you, as they say. And
Yeah.
once I saw that I qualified, then I just say, what they say, you can do bad by yourself, okay?
Well, amen.
Because
Well,
you want the relationship to last. You don't want it just to be a fly by night type of
right.
thing. So I decided not to settle.
So
And
for all the ladies watching tonight, he is single and he's ready to mingle, and he wants to make sure you're ready for all that he has to offer and that you come with something too. And that's
I had
what
some close calls. I had some close calls, but I said I threw in the towel. I said, no, this engagement is off. I break it off. When I see they're not ready, I break it off.
Well, listen, God knows, because you have a lot of talent that the world needs to see and hear. So therefore, he has to put you with somebody amazing. Tell us, because I've heard so much about you as of late, especially, which was so funny hearing that Jesse Jackson, the one and only Reverend Dr. Leader Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson, like I can go on, is the person that discovered you. How did that happen? And walk us through that time.
Well, I was a student at North Carolina A&T State University, and Aggie Pride. I wasn't only just a student, I was the Aggie dog. I was a mascot. Can you believe
Okay.
it?
We're not playing.
And Jesse's, I went to school with his kids,
Oh,
Jonathan and Jesse Jr. So I was like big in the theater, and I got a scholarship in theater at the Richard B. Harrison Players, Paul Robeson Theater. And I'll never forget, Jesse was going to be on Saturday Night Live, right?
wow.
And I told one of the comedians that because I created a comedy repertory company called a Comedy Construction Company. And the
Okay.
Comedy Construction Company was the first repertory company of North Carolina. Now, if you don't know about North Carolina is known for their basketball teams and their bands and things of that nature, but not comedy. So we would always sit on Saturday nights, me and the other actors, and watch Eddie Murphy. And I'm dating myself.
Yes, yes,
Watch
yes.
Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, not knowing that he was one of my soulmates. But we'll get into that later because I'm a numerologist and all of that.
Okay.
But I didn't know that, but I just know I can do that. So I would write letters to Saturday Night Live every day, and also the Negro Ensemble Company. So this country boy
Okay.
in North Carolina would write these letters and everything of that nature. And Jesse was on the campus eating lunch at the cafeteria, right?
Yep.
And I was in rehearsal for a show called Ain't Misbehaving, which I've done a couple times, and I was very excited about it. So I was telling the young man, just to get to a little justice here, I was telling the, how can I say, I was telling the young man who I was working with as a comedian to take a package to Jesse Jackson. Okay,
Oh, wow.
take this package to Jesse Jackson and tell him we got a comedy company and everything. I've been getting all these rejection letters from Saturday Night Live. You take this package and tell Jesse that we're gonna be on. That we want to be on Saturday Night Live. He's got to make. It's his duty. He's got to make us. He's supposed. He's a public servant. He's got to make us stars. Okay.
Okay.
So, he said, okay, okay. And I said, but sometimes, if you want something done, sometimes you got to do it yourself.
You better do it yourself, huh? Hallelujah.
That was my first lesson. So I'll never forget, I was going to the cafeteria after the rehearsal at A&T, and I saw him going his way to the football game because he videotaped the football game. He was a cameraman, and they videotaped the games. And I said, did you get a package to Jesse? He said, yeah, I think he's in the cafeteria with Ben Chavis, And I said, okay, well, I'm going just to check it out. And then I'll never forget it, Aniya. I went into the cafeteria. I didn't even go right to the food line because
Yes.
if anybody know anything about me, I love my food.
Yes, sir.
But I saw him sitting eating lunch with Ben Chavis, and Ben Chavis, I think, was one of the sit-inners at the Woolworths in 1960 when A&T students, marched into Woolworths and sat down and did not leave until they were served. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what happened was I went to Jesse, and I went right up to him. I said, Jesse, you're going to be on Saturday Night Live. You need to discover new and unknown talent on your presentation on SNL. I'm trying to, I got a comedy company, and we're funny and da-da-da, and I got a comedian, and you can help us, Jesse. You can do it, Jesse. You can do it. He said, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. And from that point on, I started raising money for us to visit New York City and be on Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I got a call from NBC. NBC said, we don't know who you are. Reverend Jackson wants you and your comedian on the show.
Wow.
And that's how it's a Cinderella story, if I ever could tell you one. But I was prepared and I was ready because I had already had comedy sketches and everything. So I was ready to do what I needed to do. Okay?
Okay.
So we arrived in New York City, and there we were on a set of Saturday Night Live, Studio 8H in New York City. Before we got there, I never forget this, the limousine driver, they hold up the sign for who you are to come get you, right?
Yeah.
Pick you up, take you to the hotel and everything. And they had my comedian's name up, not my name. I said, that's us, that's us, that's us. And then I got in the limousine, and the comedian looked at me and he said, Arnold, he said, I will never doubt you again. And we were on the air. We were on the show, and Billy Crystal was part of that cast. He was like, "You look marvelous." He did something like that, and he was a part of the cast of Saturday Night Live at the time. And I never forget, Dick Ebersol was the producer, and Dick Ebersol discovered Eddie Murphy. Okay,
wow,
this is how you put it together. And I gave Dick Ebersol a package, okay, of my work. And he said, I heard I heard my name. He said, use Arnold, use Arnold. And his production assistants, we call them PAs, They rushed to me and said, Dick wants you in the show. Dick wants you in the show.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I was in one of the scenes, a control room scene, and when Jesse was complaining there was no black people working on the show, because he took my idea. He took my idea. I said, you need to do this, you need to do that. So he took my ideas, and he said, this is what I want to do. And next thing you know, we said, well, let's use Arnold. So I would run into the control room, and all the white people would run out, and all the black people would run in. And as Jesse would come in and look to see if anybody black working on the show.
Well, thank you, Lord.
And when Jesse would leave, we would all run out, and the white folks would come running back in. And that sketch made the 15th anniversary and all of that. It was my claim to fame, and it was and that's how I got my start. And you have to realize too that the Cosby Show was just getting started, so it wasn't like the Cosby Show. It was just a show. And I remember seeing little Rudy and Bill, and it was a big time because this was pre-Obama.
Yes.
And Jesse had just given a major speech. He I am somebody, and all that type of stuff he would say. And I never forget, Jesse was in his, I had him use one of my comedians, and Jesse did not even see the guy do a stand-up routine. He just looked at me, and he was in his boxers in the dressing room at SNL, and he said, "He better be funny." And I said, Jesse, he gonna be funny. He gonna be funny, Jesse. And the rest is history.
Can I ask you something real quick? Is that why you do the Run, Jesse, Run? I know we're going to get into Nan in a little bit, but does that come from any of that?
Well, yes, it does, because I decided to do Saturday Day Live in the House of Justice. And Run, Jesse, Run is a tribute to Jesse Jackson and Jesse Owens.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful.
That's the double meaning behind that.
Well, I'm friends with Jesse Jackson's son, so I'm going to go ahead and hit him up about this right now. But you're probably really close to him since you went to school with him. I'm going to send him this link and definitely. Oh, look, affirmative action. Lorenzo Vaughn is on. Run, Jesse, run. We will have him on next week for sure. But it's so great that he's watching tonight. Now, let's go into your musical talent and some of your mentors, because I know you just mentioned, the one and only Michael Jackson. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Still mad that he's gone. And then, you have such great affiliations with people like, Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson. Who else can you say attributed to your success or you coming out and being so, happy and go lucky and not shy anymore? And then let's talk about your musical thing, because you are a singer too.
Well, what I was always compared at the time when I did a lot of firsts when I was in high school. I started leading roles in musicals at Walter M. Williams High School, and I didn't know that was something that didn't happen. I just thought, if you had talent, you would get things. And they always compared me to a performer by the name of Ben Vereen, because I was always.
I know who he is. I've seen him.
I was always happy. Yeah, he played the leading player, and I ended up playing that role at UNCG Greensboro as the leading player. Years later, after I graduated from high school, but I was always compared to him, and he was always somebody that exuded a effervescent type of personality, and I was always that type of person to be positive enough. I just realized that I just felt that if you want to treat people how you want to be treated, and I always had a kind word for everyone, and I believed even then that honesty was the best policy, and that's and living part of your virtues, and integrity and honesty was the way to be. But that wasn't the entertainment industry, Aniya.
No, definitely not.
So that's why I decided to be the best. Okay, not mediocre, not average. You couldn't be that anyway to be a Black person and to gain things, especially during the time that I was brought up. You had to be almost superhuman. You had to be extraordinary. You had to be. So I realized but you had to work at that, and I had to work at that. So God had given me a talent, yes, but I had to not just rely on talent. I had to put in hard work, and I had the tenacity and all of those things that it takes in order to persevere and survive. And that's how I was able to rise above. And I was always on point. I was always diligent, and because everyone else would fall by the wayside. And I think because of my, how can I say, my background in athletics and being trained as an athlete, as a football player, and being involved in that, the discipline that it takes, I kind of put that into my work as an artist, right?
Mm.
And that's how I was able to rise above any situation in high school and really work to the point that if I didn't know someone, or I wasn't in a clique, or I didn't do drugs, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything. Not saying I was better than anyone. I just made a choice that I was going to not do those things because I knew it was going to harm my temple, which is my body, which I could not. But I did have a problem eating. I had a food addiction. So then I had to say, well, Arnold, you got to change that too. So in the process of even changing that habit. But you know
Okay.
how I would get that is because I would break up with some young lady or something like that, and then I get depressed and start eating.
Okay.
So I was always like that. So I said, realize that I can't even allow personal things like that to affect my career. And my father would always say, he said, Arnold, you always singing to these girls and stuff like that. I said, do they like that? And I said, yeah, Dad, they like me singing to them. They like
That's
the romantic thing. I wouldn't be dating them and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I had to deal with all of that and just so that's why I'm doing this interview, to let people know who I really am. People make assumptions and they assume this and they assume that. I said, well, I never really done interviews to say anything. I would just show up and do what I do and leave.
Right.
Nobody really knows me at Nan. They just know me as the big black man, or they know me as the funny person or the dramatic person that Reverend Sharpton allows to express and show his talent every Saturday. But I'm
Every
really
Saturday.
a Garveyite, to be honest, and I'm very, very pro race, black pride,
Yes.
and I actually have the same numbers as Marcus Garvey. And
Right.
so I'm a Garveyite, and Arnold's Army Against Drugs. I'm celebrating 30 years of saving our future today with our children and doing drug prevention shows throughout the tri-state and the country. And that's what I do through the work with my moms, God rest her soul, who got me involved in community service.
That is so beautiful. And a lot of times people do not have the opportunity of hearing the backstory or getting to know the person personally. And that's why we do what we do here on the Aniya A show, because oftentimes you'll see somebody in the streets or you'll see somebody actively doing something they're passionate about. And with me, because I studied psychology and public relations, I tell people all the time, I literally went into psychology to study the human mind, to study behavior, and then the public relations to learn how to speak to you. After I learned who the hell you were, I want to know how to talk to you. So that was basically why I did what I did. And in doing that, I watch people very closely. And kind of like you, I'm always in and out because of my career, but also because of how I perceive the world. And so I don't like a lot of close interactions, but I love people. Speaking of people and loving people, we have with us Stanley Mallory. Oh my God.
Oh, yes, I love Stanley. I miss you, Stan.
We
Oh
miss
my
you
God.
so much,
Miss you so
King. We
much.
love you. And Mama Vaughn still, I hope she's watching as well tonight. They're so big on the creative thing, dancing, etc. And you know what, real quick, I love what he did. He did the red, black, and green hearts for us tonight with a fist pump. That's a creative man right there that we love and we honor. And if you hear any background noise, sorry, it's my furry humans. They're jealous. They hear your voice. They think I'm cheating on them with you. But they are just puppies that got to get it together. So either way, let's move on because there's so much to talk about when it comes to your skill. And one thing I know for sure is you can create something out of nowhere. I'll never forget real quick, right? When we talked about me wanting to create something and you created an entire skit like within 5 seconds. Where do you think that creativity comes from? And how can you encourage others to hone in on their creative skills?
Well, I guess what I'm saying, how what you have to do, and I'm gonna switch it around a little bit here. In order to be creative, you have to free your mind of all type of negativity and open your mind up to the beauty that's in the world today. Okay,
Yes.
And then that's what a creative does. He kind of helps people cope with the downtroddenness or the downturn that life brings, because that's part of life as well. But at the same, to be creative, I say for you is to dream and to
Mm,
and dreams become and dream big and dream big. Don't dream the small dreams. Dream things that someone said can't happen. They can't be.
mm.
But if you can dream it and you can conceive it, it can be.
You
Okay,
can achieve it. There
you
you
can
have it.
achieve it, and that's the whole thing. We say you can believe it, you can achieve it, but at the same time, just keep it pure and also keep it honest and keep it sincere and have a way of saying, is this going to help someone other than me?
Yes.
Going to help someone other than me? Because it's not really about us. It's about what we do on this plane for others. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. That is so beautifully said. And for those that, maybe down and out, especially during this COVID season, you always have such bubbly personality, like you were saying, effervescent, like out there, go getter. What can you tell what can you say to the person who may be down and out because their dreams are not being fulfilled right now? They may be sick with the whole COVID situation, or there's just too many tragedies happening around them. How can you encourage them to keep fighting this good fight of faith?
Well, first of all, I'm a spiritual man. I'm a man of prayer. And I believe that, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Okay. And it's all about your journey. This is not the be all and end all of this lifetime.
Yes.
You are brought here. It's a journey, and you have to go through certain journeys and certain things in life in order so you can elevate your spirit.
Yes.
So when you leave this temple, which is your body, you'll be elevated and you'll be ready to come return and be elevated more and more. So all life is a system of elevation. Okay,
System of elevation. I love that.
that's all it is. It's a system of elevation that's going to elevate you to the next plane, and then you'll keep elevating and elevating and elevating. And that way you will become the superhuman being that you are destined to be throughout this whole universe, throughout this life journey. So how you keep yourself is make a choice. Make a choice that you are going to be positive. You're going to live your life as a servant. And it's not all about you. It's about what God is doing with you. Okay?
I love it. You guys better take notes. This man is telling you like it is. Now, real quick, I'm going to run and get these puppies to be quiet a little bit. In the meantime, can you do a number for us? Either sing something with your amazing self or do what you do on Saturday. Like, let's act like this is a rally and you're doing your thing. But you know what? You could do both.
I'll do a song. I'll do a song because it ties into what the question you asked me. And
Very good. I'll be right back. Sing it out.
Okay, and this song is, as some of you may know, I'm known as the Phantom of Broadway. And shout out to Kathy Sharpton and Goldie who came out to see me for my very important birthday at the Duplex last year, in which I presented 11 musicals, which I had written and score, book, and lyrics. And but this song is from a very special show that we know. It's called The Sound of Music. And when you're down and out and you're feeling sad, you should know your favorite things, okay? And that's Luther Vandross sang it, and now A. Gregory Harris is singing it. And
Amen.
And it goes, of course, so you know the song from the musical. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite thing, and then I don't feel so bad. Favorite thing?
Oh my God, you go ahead. I love that song. I'm a big musical person. I'm all into plays and things like that. A lot of people didn't know that, but now you know that. And that was so beautifully done. Thank you so much. I had to bring the boys out so they can see you, so they can
Okay.
feel you, because they get so wild if
Oh,
they
I know.
can't
It's
see.
something about me and animals. It's true. It's something about me and dogs and cats and things. They just jump up and run to me. They don't even know me, and they run to me and they react to me for some reason. I don't know. So I just want to let you know it's not really your fault. It's me.
Okay, because I'm like, typically
What is
they're a
going
lot
on, right?
better behaved, but I had to bring them out so they could check you out.
Exactly, because I have a doggy and he just ups and all around, and so they just sense that I
Yes.
love animals.
And you know what? And that's a great characteristic, especially when you have a big heart anyway. And then having that connection with the furry babies is a beautiful thing. Now, tell the people, where can they find you if they want to stay in touch? Or let's say a music producer comes across this interview. I have a lot of production friends, as you know, being in the industry that we're in. Let's say there's an up and coming voiceover thing that needs to happen. Where can they find Mr. A. Gregory Harris to work with you?
Well, when I joined National Action Network, how I joined was that I wanted to create something, an avenue for artists who were righteous and who had an activist flair. And the non-performing activist was the community that I came and created with the New York City chapter. But I was appointed director of arts and culture by Reverend Sharpton at one of Kathy Sharpton's birthday celebrations and fundraiser. And I never get. I put $50 is in the till, and he said, "My director of arts and culture." I said, "Oh, really, really? When did that happen? Oh my God!" Next thing you know, I said, "Well, if he says it in front of all these people, I better do that, okay? Because
Okay.
if I don't do that, but I really came in as non-performing activist. That was my committee. But when he said that, I said, well, he said it. That means he has appointed me, and I didn't know nothing about it. But I said, I know now, and I will rise to the occasion. And how you can rise to the occasion and be a part of what we do, you can just visit our official website for Nan Arts and Culture, and that's lowercase VLK, the number two, thefuture.com. That's black to thefuture.com, but it's VLK, the number two, thefuture.com. And you'll see everything about us, contact us, and how you can get involved and be a part of Garvey Studios, talent development, be a part of Arnold's World, our theme park, and our Ghana Land of Return agency as we trek the Middle Passage and go back to the gates of no return and to the land of return. So there's a lot of things we're doing that everyone can be involved in, can be a part of. You can be part of Saturday Day Live at the House
Yes.
of Justice. You can be a part of our sketch writing and you can come and help us celebrate 30 years at the National Action Network. And I really love the National Action Network because I'm really more into the mission statement of the National Action Network instead of it has nothing to do with the people, it's the mission of
Mm.
this great organization. And I commend Reverend Sharpton for creating it, and Michael Hardy, who's my brother and who
Yes.
introduces me every week.
Every
and
Saturday morning
every
live.
Saturday morning with the big black man, Nan Arts News, and Run Jesse Run, blacker than black can be, blackity black. The big black man, black people in America. And I get it with that and let people know and give them health and wellness tips. And like I said, if I'm going to give health and wellness tips, I need to practice what I preach. And so that's why I
Well,
decided to change my eating habits and also get in the swing of being, especially during COVID, because really it's about your immune system and being strong enough to fight it,
right.
anything that comes your way. But that's how they can get in touch with me. They can go right to our official website, blacktothefuture.com, be okay, the number two, thefuture.com, and we will deal with you and give you all that information. And go to all of our pages. We have Black Money Matters. We're dealing with um, our hashtag Black Money Matters. We're dealing with my trust funds. I'm working with an organization called ADA, which is Advanced Destination Association, and I'm excited about providing funding for various organizations and various. So I created Arnold's World Financial Trust, in which I'll be providing funding for those who are in need. And I'm just happy to be a part of that organization and create generational wealth, which we need to have happen. And so that way, so it's not just being a performer, but also being a performer with resources,
Yes.
able to be able to fund shows like yourself and help our people build. And I'm excited about Garvey Studios in Brooklyn, and also our compound in which actors will be able to get contracts. I'm bringing back the studio system,
Yes,
which actors are groomed to play African kings and queens. So
I
they'll play
love
African
that.
kings and queens, and they will study the king and or queen and prepare for their epic. And I don't have to worry about profit making because it's already funded through my crowdfunding programs, and I am excited about that. And that's how I'm able to volunteer and give my time to organizations such as the National Action Network, because it's very important that we give. And when you give, my sister, you definitely receive. I am receiving abundantly for the time I have given over the many years that I've been of service to the community. So I
I
thank you for
love that.
having me on the show.
Well, real quick, we have a very special guest who's joined in, who is definitely just leaving comments, and she's here. I have to shout her out, Miss Mimi's Vision. When you speak about all those great things, she's right on track with all of those great things. She's an entrepreneur herself, and she's watching all the way from Toronto, Canada. I say Canada, you say Canada, whatever, Canada, Canada. Anyway, she's here with us tonight, and she loves my Christmas tree. Now, for those that are on Facebook, you can't see the tree. I'd have to shift over the entire camera, but that's okay, because on Instagram, you can definitely take a look at that beautiful Christmas tree in the background. And as you know, I have to play with the babies while I'm on the show with you tonight. And, I want you to talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Reverend Al Sharpton. How, real quick, because I know you probably have a few more minutes with us, but let's talk about that dynamic, because that, Jesse Jackson, Reverend Al Sharpton, you are a blessed man to be in those communities. Talk to us about that. For those that probably wonder, how is it like knowing Reverend Al Sharpton for all these years and being on a committee with him, being on his stage every week? And tell us about that dynamic.
Well, it's so funny how I met Reverend Sharpton. It's a really interesting story. The House of Justice used to be a gym, okay?
Yes.
It used to be a gym, and I used to work at that gym.
What?
As the marketing director for Surge Gym. Yes.
I had no idea. Another thing I'm learning tonight.
And I would dress as Marcus Garvey and stand out in front of 106 West 145th Street in the House of Justice, now the House of Justice, and hand out flyers for the gym. So we had gotten an ad in the Magic Johnson movie theater, and I'll never forget it. And I went to the movie theater to see the ad and shows before the movie starts. And lo and behold, guess who I see sitting way in the back? And that's Reverend Al Sharpton, okay?
Wow.
So I was watching my ad, and I said to him, and I went up to him, I said, Reverend Al Sharpton, I said, my name is Arnold Pinnix, and our ad is on the screen here. You should come to our gym and work out and everything. Well, God knows, I think I started something. Because next thing you know, the House of Surge Gyms becomes House of Justice. And next thing you know, Reverend Sharpton has streamlined and started his little workout program. So it's kind of interesting. And I know every room in that place and everything. That's why I laugh. I thought, I know it was back there, because I used to go back there. But like I said, and then the power really came to the House is that I was at KISS FM. I'm known as A. Gregory Harris, numerologist, sextrologist to the stars. And I was on the Jeff Fox morning show. With Numerology Tuesday. So I'm a life coach as well. And I do, I definitely do life coach work for celebrities, okay? So they know me and they know what I do as far as a numerologist and sextrologist. And so I never forget, we were doing Jeff Fox was grooming me and training me, because I said, well, I'm not, I learned from Lord Strayhorn. He's the master, everything. He said, no, but you have personality, you have what we want and everything. I said, okay. So it was kind of like, wasn't even trying to get the show. First of all, I did a reading for a comedian at the Laugh Factory. And next thing you know, he told Jeff Fox, and then I get the show with Rakia and Talent. But Reverend Sharpton was at McDonald's. We did a promotional at McDonald's, Harlem McDonald's. We had a Harlem McDonald's. Remember that? Right near the Apollo Theater.
Yep,
right.
Yep, 125th.
That's right, and 125th. And I used to go in there, and Reverend Sharpton was there. And he said, well, he said, come to the House of Justice and join. And I want drama. I want to bring drama to the House of Justice. I said, okay. So I came in, I joined the first time. But the first time I came, and then I left, and I didn't come back. Okay, it was something. It wasn't the right time. But when President Obama became elected president, I said, I need to make a change. I need to do something. And I went back and joined again. And he said, we're going to have drama at the House of Justice. And that's how I started. So I don't say too much to Rev. He knows I admire him, but he knows that we're there for a purpose and for a
Yes.
mission. So it's not a fan club. It's about making things happen and bringing social justice and changing legislation. We march for change. We march for social justice. And that's so I'm not the type of person that I would go hang out and kiki and chit chat with him. I'm not even on a staff. I'm not a staff member. I'm a committee chairman. So I'm not employed by National Action Network. It's just my passion to bring the arts and bring archivism. But I do work closely with his daughters. Dominique Sharpton produces the rally show, and
Yep.
Ashley Sharpton, who produces and presents the NAN Youth Huddle, in which I preside and I present the Black Supremacy, which is my team mentoring program. And I do the triplets, Arnold, Andre, and Alvin, the transit triplets, and I use those characters to do work as far as developing our team development and use those characters to help reduce stress in high-risk areas on Monday nights. And on Saturdays, I am the big black man, and of course, it's Saturday Day Live at the House of Justice. And so I've been at NAN for 11 years now.
Wow.
11 years, and we're getting ready to celebrate, as I said before, the 30th anniversary of National Action Network. And I'm a soldier. Reverend Sharpton knows that. You don't have to tell me too much. I show up, I do what I do, and I go.
There you have it.
That's how it works. You know,
I
I'm not looking
love
for
that.
anything other than to uplift and to carry on the legacy and create an institution that's here long after he is gone and I am gone, and something for our future generations to fight for social justice. And that's what it's about at the National Action Network, and I'm down with that. Okay?
And I love that. And you know what? We're going to have to do a part 2 of
No.
this interview. Not tonight. We're going to do another interview because we have kept you for a while and we want the people to come back. We're going to have to do you on a Wednesday or a Monday next time around, because that's when it's really live and lit on the Aniya A show. I watch all the numbers, okay? And unfortunately, we had something going on yesterday, but guess what? We want to know about your newest projects that we referred to during your bio. So hold that for the next show and anything else that you want to share. Listen, Arnold Pinnix, aka Mr. A. Gregory Harris, aka the Big Black Man. I'm so excited that you did this with us tonight. Also, I don't know if you could tell, but I wore this ensemble for you because it represents
sexy.
Africa. Hey.
Ooh, you know I'm an African man. I love it.
I know. And then, of course, I got the NAN pin. You know, I thought about these little things before the show tonight, and I said, I got to do it up for the big black man. Amen,
Thank
somebody.
you so much.
But you know what, last thought, I wanted to share, I'm inviting you to our event tomorrow, which is going to be on 125th Street. As you know, I have a couple of things that I run at NAN. I have now the Economic Crisis Initiative, which isn't like a committee at NAN, but it's a partnership with William Allen, who is the crisis director, so that we can help Black folks especially get their budgeting together. We don't call it a budget, we call it our financial checkup. So you mentioned those things that you're very, very interested in and you're working towards. So I'll share more information offline with you, because if you can make it to that event tomorrow, 6 p.m., we're going to have 10 people live in the building, but we're going to have the others streaming on Zoom. And the reason being is a workshop that you'll be receiving a lot of information. And we hope to continue to build up our mentality where we're reducing stress as well as decreasing debt and increasing wealth. And so we have about 30 people or so already on board. But again, we can only have 10 people live. But I would love for you to be one of the live people if you're able to be there tomorrow night.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'll check my schedule.
Yes, sir. And I guess that's all for now, sir. Look, the baby is looking up to see you again. You know,
let me see him. Hey, doggy dog.
Oh, don't start, because they will jump up. And the other one is the vocal one. This is Dream. So every time you said Dream earlier, I was like, oh my God, he's going to come out of nowhere and go crazy. But this is him.
I love it.
He is like,
babies.
He's a baby.
Hey, Dream, how you doing?
Okay. Did you see him? He's like looking like, what? Who's calling my name? But yeah, I love my little fur babies, and you love fur babies too. So please close us out with either a prayer, a song, or a motivational quote for those that are watching now or will be watching at another time, because words are powerful, and you totally know that.
Well, something that has inspired me for many, many years, and I had to, and I practice it as a technology, is that what you do daily determines what you become. Now think
Mm.
about that. What you do daily, positive or negative, will determine what you become. So think positive, do positive things, and there will be a positive outcome. That's it.
I love it. And Gregory Roberts says, Arnold is a good brother. I see him every Saturday. Thank you, Gregory Roberts, for that. Arnold Pinnix, aka A. Gregory Harris, I thank you and appreciate you. And yes, everything that I do daily and think about daily is my outcome. And that's why I try to stay as positive as possible, especially during these really horrendous times. I appreciate you. I love you. And I can't wait to work with you again and go back to where we started with some of these plays and things like that with the arts and culture. How about
I
that?
welcome you. I welcome you, and I'm sure, and Reverend Sharpton welcomes you, and all of National Arts Network keeps the arts alive and well because we need drama. We got drama. We got drama now. So let's bring the
Woo!
drama for
Let's make
social
it
change.
happen. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. All right, guys, you just heard from the one and only the big black man, aka A. Gregory Harris, also known as Mr. Arnold Pinnix. And I'm so happy we did this tonight because, again, a lot of times we communicate with people, we know people, but we really don't know people. And tonight we had an opportunity to learn him for who he is, his background, and basically some of the great things that he has done in his life and what he continues to do each and every week at the National Action Network under the Honorable Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton, whom I like to call my spiritual father, but sometimes that may be misconstrued and things of that nature. However, when somebody is on that same page as you and continues to work hard for the people and fight for justice like the Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton, it just makes me feel really good. And to know people like A. Gregory Harris, aka Arnold Pinnix. And if you wonder why I say his whole name, well, I'm a nerd like that, and I say people's whole names. But yes, guys, we are so appreciative for this time that we had with him. And we know that we're going to continue to work towards greatness together as a community and as a people. Don't forget, you can get in contact with him. We'll share that link and that information for those that might have missed it. And if you want to be a part of the arts and culture segment each week with the Honorable Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton or under the tutelage of Mr. A. Gregory Harris, you can definitely watch us on www.nationalactionnetwork.net or stop by at 106 West 145th Street. It's your girl, Aniya A, and tonight has been amazing. Let me close out with this thought real quick, right? I love what he said in closing us out. And people have to understand positive thoughts create positive attitudes as well as positive futures. And one thing that people must understand totally is that you cannot be a positive person and think negatively. You cannot be a positive person and literally be depressed all the time. It's either one or the other. Like water and oil does not mix, so doesn't negativity, and positivity, right? And so a lot of people in our circles tend to be negative or tend to try to hold us down. But I want all of you to be as positive and as bubbly and as amazing as myself. Aniya A. No, I'm just kidding. I am not big-headed like that. But I want you guys to really focus in on the positives around you. Be like A. Gregory Harris. He is somebody that I don't think I've ever seen him frown or get upset. And that's the honest to God truth. Matter of fact, a lot of people in my circles, I rarely see upset. But him in particular, it's like he really doesn't have much to be upset about. And I don't know if it's because he's such a creative and creatives typically are very happy people. But either way, guys, let's continue to stay positive in our communities and in our circles. Let's continue to hold each other up. Let's continue to be blessings instead of curses. And it's so funny. I see Jesse Drew Allen. Like, I feel like I haven't spoken to this gentleman in years. We have met before, I feel like in my heart, but it's been a really long time. Is that Jesse from Florida? Let me know. It's your girl, Aniya A, and we're live here tonight, just having a good time, right? One other thought. Yes, let's talk about how before the show tonight, I was craving salad. As you guys know, I'm always eating salad. If you didn't know that, now you do know that. And typically to buy a salad, at a restaurant is like 20 bucks for me. And so sometimes I'm like, you know what? The prepackaged deal is great because I literally love like the salads in the bags. but obviously I make my own salads. Okay, talking about health and wellness and stuff, I practice what I preach, and I'm very cautious as to what I eat. But either way, sometimes I don't have time to buy like the head of lettuce and all that shenanigans. Anyway, so I go to the store, the supermarket, right before I get on tonight, to buy lettuce and salad stuff or whatever. And then I had to buy a couple of other things. What else did I buy? Maybe like a loaf of like really heart and healthy bread, I feel like. And then I bought like one other thing, right? And it was not that many things. But why am I sharing the story? Because oh my God, like I bought less than a bag full of stuff, and it was like darn near $20. And I walked out of the store like, oh, and I bought two tomatoes. So I'm like walking out of the store like, what the hell did I just buy for like 20 bucks? And it was funny because before I could even complain about the pricing and complain about how expensive my little bag of like fraudulent food was, because it wasn't that much stuff at all. It was like 5 items. You know, God revealed to me in that moment that I'm about to complain about 20 bucks, yet somebody can't eat today. I was about to complain about a bag or like a bag and a half full of items. Yet, if I go to a restaurant, and even not even like the ritziest one or the most spectacular one, like that same salad that I would be preparing at home would be like 20 to $25. And so it was at that moment that I recalibrated and recalled how good I really have it. Irregardless of whether or not I'm a multimillionaire yet, irregardless of what I don't have. And so I wanted to share that with you guys tonight, and that thought process that be grateful. Be grateful for the small things, be grateful for everything, because in your attitude of gratitude, you will be super blessed. I am proud of each and every one of you that are connected to your girl Aniya A. I love the fact that we had a great show tonight, that it finally happened. And I know there'll be an amazing part two in this interview process with the one and only A. Gregory Harris. For you who has been feeling down and out because maybe your story is not as amazing. Like, you know, Reverend Jesse Jackson didn't see you and you didn't talk to him and he didn't bring you to Saturday Night Live. Maybe you're going to watch this and you've been pushing so hard for something for so long and you feel like it's never going to happen. Maybe you are in your career now and you've hit a bump in the road, especially during this COVID season. I say, get your joy back, continue to smile, and continue to be grateful. When you have an attitude of gratitude, you can accomplish anything and everything. So, with that being said, and as I have to get back to work because I'm obviously still in work mode, let me just tell you guys, not only do I have to get back to work, but I have to complete some documents, I have to send off some emails, and I have to follow up with people that wanted me to do stuff for them and they didn't complete what they wanted me to do for them, and they're in limbo. And before my weekend gets really bananas, I'm hitting them up like, hello, if you want somebody to do something, at least do your part. So anyway, good news. The fur baby goes to the doctor tomorrow. So fur baby 2, aka Dream, is going to the doctor tomorrow because he, I don't think, has ever been to the doctor, I think. And I can't wait to see what that's like for him and that experience. So I have that going on. And again, we have the Zoom link that's going to go up for our workshop tomorrow that you all could be a part of through social media. But there's only 10 people allowed physically in that space. So I'm so happy that things are going pretty darn well right now. And I'm just a pusher, like, and I'm not talking about pushing drugs, guys. I'm talking about pushing like my career, my happiness, my life. Speaking of happiness in life, yes, your girl is going to be an auntie again. If you saw the post earlier, I literally was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be an auntie again. Always the auntie, not yet the mommy, but we're going to be okay. Like, I feel like we're going to be okay. And real quick, I know people are hitting me up like, Cray, I just wanted to do a special happy birthday shout out to my baby brother who happens to be born on this day. I'll never forget when my little knucklehead of a baby brother was born into this world. And I'm going to text him now to tell him he's getting a special birthday shout out. Listen, my baby brother, excuse me, my baby brother means the whole world to me. And the thing is that he probably doesn't even know like how much I love him because I'm not very close to people, obviously. And I just want you guys to know that this kid was brought into Aniya A's life for a special reason. And I love him and I appreciate him. uh yeah, and the thing is that today he's another year older. He's gonna have a second kid. uh and I'm just like, oh wow, I should have probably gotten started a lot, a long time ago, and I didn't. But he is definitely taking care of business for the family, and I just wanted to say that I'm proud of him and I love him. I would get super emotional tonight, but I have so much to do, and if I get emotional and start crying, you know what happens? Then I get tired. But my baby brother means the world to me. He's not even a baby anymore. And then secondly, he's like super huge. So my baby brother is like 6'6" or something, maybe 6'4" or maybe 6'5". I don't know. And oh, hold on, because he probably doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, good. So he's probably like 6'4", 6'5". I don't know how tall he is, but he's super tall and he's super bigger than me. And I'm afraid of him. And oh, I have to share this last story too, because I'm such a nerd. Real quick about my baby brother. I'll never forget when I was like the mama bear of the family. Like I was always the one that had to take care of the family and stuff, the children, because I'm the oldest of six. And I'll never forget when my baby brother and I hadn't seen each other in years because I went off to college at 16, right? And so, in going off to college, when I came back from college, guys, I'm only like 5 feet tall. And I didn't know that, my siblings were going to be so much taller than me because I assumed, oh, we have the same mother and father. So therefore, we might be in the same height bracket. And boy, was I mistaken. And I remember trying to discipline my baby brother. And the funniest thing was, he got me in a chokehold so quick, dear God. And he put me down on that ground and had me like in some kind of a pretzel thing. And I was like, aren't you the baby? And I couldn't even breathe. And he almost killed me. And I tapped out. And from that day forward, I've respected him ever since. And he had to be like 14 at the time. Anyway, this is my special birthday shout out to my baby brother, Hubert, whom I love so, so much. And tonight, I want to say happy birthday. Congratulations again.
Beautiful, beautiful, no other name.
And you're amazing.
From the
Guys,
moment
thank you for tuning in to the Aniya A show. I love each and every one of you.
your eyes, the dawn of a day when nothing will ever be the same. Feel my heart beating through my chest.
Feel my heart.
I'll get used to just saying yes. Yes, I'll love you with all I am. Yes, tonight is where we begin. And ooh, I wanna dance with you.
And I hope this is not a sexual song, but it's a really nice happy birthday song. Happy birthday, B.
Promise to stand for you. Oh, oh, ooh, do anything for you. Oh yeah. Tonight, my love, all I want. I wanna sing for you. Yeah, I'll sing for you. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby.
Baby.
Happy birthday.
Literally, baby brother.
To you.
Hey, espresso.
Wrap you in love for the rest of my days. Free you find joy through your pain. I can't protect you from every heartbreak. The world isn't easy that way. But I'll be there for you when you fall. There to pick you up when you fall. Yes, I love you, all I am. Yes, tonight is where we begin. I wanna dance with you.
Happy birthday to everybody that's celebrating a birthday tonight, today.
Do anything for you. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tonight, my love, all I want. I wanna sing for you. Yeah, I'll sing for you. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby brother. I love you. And to anybody else celebrating a birthday tonight, be blessed in everything you do and continue to thank God for all of your many blessings. Happy birthday, B. Let's continue to rock and roll. Whoa.
Beautiful, beautiful, no other name. From the moment you came.
Happy birthday, Hubert. I love you so much. And for everybody else that's celebrating a birthday, again, be blessed and highly favored tonight and every single night as you continue to go out into the world and be amazing.
Our version only costs
All right, guys.
$39.
Have a blessed night and continue to rock hard. It's your girl Aniya A, and tomorrow night we'll be live, not here, but we will be doing our workshop thing. So tune in tomorrow for our workshop with the ECI Economic Crisis Initiative, where we're looking to decrease debt and increase wealth. God bless each and every one of you. Good night. Hey, hey. Party on, guys. Good night.
Ang gilalin ang sadye, pwede amin ang sadye.